Okay, yeah. Practical examples from our chord building chart for some of the very important chords that you should know at this time in keyboard 2. So we would start, I'm going to use the key of C first, all right, as it entails mostly natural notes. No. Practical examples of chord formation from the chord building chart using the key of C. C major. C major taken from the C major scale. C major uses the first, the third, and the fifth. First, third, and fifth. First, major, third, perfect fifth. C major. C minor. C minor, any minor chord uses the first, the flatted third, and the fifth. The first, the minor third, which will move from E to E flat in this case, and the fifth, C minor. C diminished. C diminished uses the minor third, the first flatted third, and the fifth note is also flattened. Diminished fifth. Diminished fifth from the fifth note to here. C diminished. In some cases, it is called C half diminished. I'm going to use different finger formations. That is C diminished. One other triad chord that was not mentioned, it would be mentioned when we deal with our minor key, but I want to mention it now. Because if we have something diminished, we would have something augmented. Augmented is when you place your finger on the C chord and you raise the fifth. Instead of lowering anything, now you are raising. So the first, the third, and the sharpened fifth. This chord will be C augmented. Sounds pretty weird, but that's the chord. C augmented. Then we have the 2 chord, or some people call it the C suspended 2. That's another name, or just C2. In this case, you're using the first, the second, and the fifth. That's the root position of the chord. C2. Then you have C suspended fourth. In this case, you will use the first, the fourth. In this case, the fourth will be F, and the fifth. All right. So this is C suspended fourth. Let's look at some 4-note chords that are very important. I'm going to talk about 3 types of 4-note chords. They are called sevenths. One is called major seventh. The other is called minor seventh. And the third one is called dominant seventh. Let's first look at the major seventh. We are still in the key of C. The major seventh uses the first, the third, the fifth, and the seventh. The first, the third, the fifth, and the seventh. Sounds like this. Very jazzy. Remember, we are taking those numbers from the scale. This is Note 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the first, the third, the fifth, and the seventh would give us the chord C major 7. Know that. All right. So this is how it sounds. All right. Now I'm going to keep my hand there and I'm going to show you what the minor 7th is. You have 2 movements to make to get the minor 7th. As we know, anytime we're dealing with anything minor, we have to flatten the third. So C minor 7th, I am flattening the third, but I'm also flattening the 7th. So this B is going to become B flat. That's the chord C minor 7. So in this hand, here it is. I'm flattening. All right. I have my G and I have my B flat. C minor 7th. And let's look at the last one. C dominant 7th. So I'm still on the minor 7 chord. All I'm going to do now is move this finger back to the natural E, keep this pinky finger on the black note, which is in this case B flat, and this will give me C dominant 7. We call that the bluesy chord. All right, the bluesy chord. So dominant 7th. So major 7th, minor 7th, and dominant 7th. All right.